Hiraya released हुई 11 फरवरी को एंड चाहे आपको मूवी अच्छी लगे या बुरी, I want to take it as a starting point to talk about how trauma is perpetuated. You can experience as the after effect of an event or events that hurt you physically or emotionally. In the movie, this is trauma of abusive relationships, especially with parents that are reenacted in adult relationships. Trauma, चाहे वो one time हो, multiple या long-lasting repetitive events, affects everyone differently. Some individuals may clearly display criteria associated with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, but a lot of individuals also exhibit resilient responses of brief subclinical symptoms or consequences that fall outside this diagnostic criteria. In fact, immediately PTSD जैसे terms को use करना may actually hinder the healing process. It is more helpful to look at the symptoms and treat them individually. The impact of trauma can be subtle, insidious, or outright destructive. How an event affects an individual depends on factors like characteristics of the individual, the type of event or events, developmental processes, meaning of the trauma, and sociocultural factors. Trauma can have lasting effects on your mental, physical, and emotional health. जिन लोगों को अब्यूज या ट्रॉमा फेस करना पड़ता है उनके मेंटल हेल्थ पे कई लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट्स रह जाते हैं, जैसे कि एंजाइटी डिसऑर्डर्स, डिप्रेशन, पीटीएसडी, अल्कोहल और ड्रग्स अब्यूज. अब्यूज बचपन में हो सकता है या इन अडल्टहुड. इट कैन बी इमोशनल, वर्बल, फिजिकल और सेक्शुअल, और अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ एवरीथिंग. I'll talk specially how it impacts women in a country like ours. Initial reactions to trauma can include exhaustion, confusion, sadness, anxiety, agitation, numbness, dissociation, confusion, physical arousal, and blunted affect. More severe responses include continued distress without periods of calm or rest, severe dissociation symptoms, intense intrusive recollection that continue despite being in a safe place. कुछ लोगों को delayed responses to trauma भी होता है. उसके symptoms can include persistent fatigue, sleep disorders, nightmares, fear of recurrence, anxiety focused on flashbacks, depression, avoidance of emotions, sensations, or activities that are associated with the trauma, even remotely. In a movie, you notice some of these in Deepika's character. Often, trauma has a deeper impact on women because of the way, at least in Indian society, sehan karna is a marker of a good woman. We think tolerating abuse will keep status quo intact, and that status quo, be it family or even jobs, is considered more important than mental health. From numbing, wherein you refuse to feel to protect yourself, to hypervigilance, wherein you analyze all possible outcomes of a situation, women are more affected by trauma. एक example देती हूँ. Unfortunately, sexual assault or eve chasing are so common that nearly every woman experiences once in their lifetime. इसकी वजह से most of us get hypervigilant when we are in maybe dimly lit roads or unfamiliar surroundings. Here are some other ways in which trauma changes the way one responds. Cognitive errors. Misinterpreting a current situation as dangerous because it resembles, no matter how remotely, to a previous trauma. Excessive or inappropriate guilt. Attempting to make sense and gain control of a traumatic incident by assuming responsibility or through survivor's guilt because others who experienced the same trauma did not survive or are not doing as well as you are. Idealization. Demonstrating inaccurate rationalizations, idealizations, or justifications of the perpetrator's behavior, particularly if the perpetrator ऐसा है जो आपके प्राइमरी केयरगिवर या पेरेंट रहे हो. Trauma-induced hallucinations or delusions. Experiencing hallucinations and delusions. For example, अगर आपके abuser ने लाल रंग की शर्ट पहनी थी, the next time you see a similar looking person in red, आपको लगता है दोबारा वही इंसिडेंट होने वाला है. Intrusive thoughts and memories. Experiencing without warning or desire thoughts and memories associated with the trauma. These intrusive thoughts and memories can easily trigger strong emotional and behavioral reactions as if the trauma was recurring in the present. क्योंकि आप अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट करके एक डिफरेंट आउटकम लाने की कोशिश कर रहे होते हो. Whatever may be your trauma, it is advisable to take help for it. It is very difficult to open up, I do understand that. But if we wish to live a life not defined by the trauma we experienced, help is necessary. Therapy and counseling as well as support groups help to look at the trauma in healthier ways and also to develop strategies to deal with it. माइंड ओवर मैटर का ये एपिसोड अगर आपको अच्छा लगा तो प्लीज़ इस वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर करें और हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें. हमें हमारे सोशल मीडिया हैंडल्स